I think on my dad's side, it was like a really close family friend. He was a cartoonist, I guess an illustrator technically. Every time we went to his house, like his walls were always filled with like all of his illustrations. I remember like watching his room and like I seeing all his like stuff everywhere, and I was like, what? Like this could be a living. Like I knew this is what he did for a living. That was my first memory of being like, yeah, when I grow up, I want to be this guy.
Yeah.
So when I was in high school, I never knew what I wanted to do. I knew it probably something creative just because I was always like the artistic, the creative kid. Even the thought of like, oh, okay, I could probably be an artist and make a living, like this is something I could do, that thought never crossed my mind. While I was like hitting grade 11 or grade 12 is when I'm like, okay, I think I'm gonna be a graphic designer, because that was the time when like the internet was on the come up, and I taught myself Photoshop just because like the internet opened up this like crazy world of possibilities, you know? My teacher was like, okay, like everybody make a thing. In the class, we're gonna have a vote, like top 3 is gonna go to the office, and then the whole school / like the staff is gonna vote. And like, I can't believe mine actually won. After that planner won, I was like, yo, this can be something, just cause like the response that I got and the response that I was getting from my teacher for that class at the time was like really, really nice. What if you had the opportunity to know who you were reincarnated as? That's obviously if you believe in like reincarnation. I chose a guy doing a really mundane task, like he's shaving, and while he's shaving, he realizes that he was actually reincarnated as Hitler. So sad, shaving. I was never the one who walked and talked about like, I want to be an artist, I'm going to be the next like Picasso, I'm going to be this, I'm going to be that. It was just like grade 12 came and I'm like, you guys, I think I'm going to actually pursue this. And they're like, what? Like, since like you never talked about this. I got a little bit of like, not a little bit, I got like no support really. But then the same art teacher, when he saw my sketchbook, he was like, this is gold. Like, I think you should get into illustration. Do you like drawing? I'm like, yeah, I like drawing. He's like, I don't think you'd be happy as a graphic designer. And then I'm like, well, I don't know what illustration is. He's like, okay, we're gonna take a trip to OCAD. We're gonna see the like graduation exhibition. I saw it, I was like, my mind exploded in like the best way possible. What? This is like, this could be a career? That's what I wanna do. I hate the word style. I hate to say my style because I think it's always evolving. How I drew was just how I drew. It was what interested me. Like I liked things that were very dysfunctional, like not very like photorealistic, and that's just not something I was drawn to. I was more drawn to the opposite of that. So I just did that. I think I like imperfections. I think flaw is really beautiful. If I can draw this camera and you can still tell it's a camera, why does it matter whether or not it's like proportionate or it's dysfunctional? If you can tell it's a camera, I've done my job to communicate that, you know what I mean? I like all colors, it just depends on what I'm working on. Like I've noticed that I kind of gravitate towards pinks for some reason. I'm not really girly, so I don't know, maybe that's just like my inner girl coming out. I'm not really a fan of yellow, but when I put yellow against like blue, I'm just like, ooh, that like the contrast looks nice for this piece. You know exactly what you want to draw, you know where everything is in the composition, you know this is a sketch, I'm just gonna go to final, and then you're like, kind of like based on your mood, you can just like pick and choose colors too. I do like exploring really complex ideas. That could just be life events, that could be commentary, that could be taking a really mundane piece and like putting a twist to it. I just explore and see what comes up. Right now I'm in a really transitional period in my life. I was in a motor vehicle accident 3 years ago. Obviously, like my whole life has changed, and my relationship with my craft has also changed. Dealing with like depression, anxiety, and overcoming all of that has made me kind of distance myself a little bit from my work, just because it has become overwhelming for me. The last thing I remember seeing was my thesis, and like coming back to that after, you know, like 6 months post-accident, and like when I started kind of like drawing again, I feel like there was such a big jump in terms of like the things I was drawing and like the way I was drawing them. And I think this would have happened regardless. Like because obviously, you know, you grow, your style grows, everything changes, right? I kind of did like a quick jump. I don't know, it was just like for me looking at it, it's like really sudden. There has been waves and periods of me not enjoying what I'm creating, and if I'm not having fun with it, I don't like to touch it. 769982112. That was the number, right?
Success to me is doing something that makes you feel like, hey, I can't wait to wake up in the morning. It's not too high, it's not too low, but every day you're pretty happy. I think that's success.
The beautiful thing about it is that it's grown completely organically. It's all word of mouth. People just kind of ask when's the next one, and I'm lucky to just have met all the people through it, you know.